Alrighty then, time for Danganronpa V3 Killing Harmony, part whatever the hell this is. Who knows, who cares, doesn't matter. Wait, no, I don't want to save, I don't want to save, I don't want to save! I already saved! Get out of here, get out of here, get out of here. Anyway, let's get right back into it.
You just said that you drew the magic circle exactly as it appears in the document. But that's a lie, isn't it? The magic circle at the scene had lines that stretched to the room's corners, which means that you would be able to find the floorboard from anywhere in the room.
So it was different from the document after all.
All because Himiko noticed. And because of Kibo, too.
Hey, where's my things? I'm the one who installed that function into Kibo.
Shut up, Mew.
Hey, yeah, what was it you were saying about its purpose?
Oh, to be honest, the purpose of that image recording function is to monitor my health. Specifically, I make Kibo use that function every day to analyze my turds.
Your what? Why?
Shit is a great indicator of intestinal health and gut bacteria quality.
Thanks for letting us know.
Plus, taking a satisfying shit does wonders for a woman's natural beauty, so... See? You're all grossed out! This is why I didn't want to tell you about my plan!
Quit talking about your poop. No one cares. Kyo, you killed Tenko, didn't you? Just give up and admit it already.
Doesn't matter if you did. As long as if you didn't kill Angie, then who cares?
So, Kyo, if you have any objections, you can...
Your deductions are fiction. Well, since you've given me the option, I will most certainly object. To be honest, it's unimportant, but it may be an amusing diversion. Now I shall bear witness to your abilities, Shuichi. Do entertain me. If you are going to claim I am the culprit, then what of the murder weapon? It was set up in the cage. The only people capable of that are Kokichi and Shuichi, who carried the cage. So suspicion should fall on them.
True, we could have placed the sickle there, but we could not have removed it later. Because we weren't the ones who lifted the cage. That was Himiko.
The only person who could have collected the sickle is Himiko. But the only people who could have placed the sickle are Kokichi and Shuichi. But in regards to that dilemma, I did not carry the cage, nor did I had no opportunity to touch the sickle.
Oh no!
It's a sheet.
The only person who could have collected the sickle is Himiko. But the only people who could have placed the sickle are Kokichi and Shuichi. But in regards to that dilemma, I did not carry the cage, nor I had no opportunity to touch the sickle.
I'll cut through your words! The only person who could have set up the sickle and retrieved it afterward is Kyo. That was done by covering the cage with a white cloth. You could have secretly placed the sickle when you draped the cloth. And retrieved it afterward when you removed the cloth. Then, while everyone was distracted, you discreetly drop the sickle under the floor.
Wonderful! That's exactly correct.
It's correct? Then why don't you give up already?
Because he didn't kill Angie.
The trick I put so much work into is just wasted effort now. Alas.
So, it was you? You killed Tenko?
Let me guess. You'll never forgive me. Himiko, you must hate me so very much. Maybe you'd feel better if I was executed by Monokuma. But unfortunately for you, that won't happen. Because if you vote for me, every spotless, including myself, will die.
What you talking about, Kyo?
You still don't understand? I killed Tenko, that is the truth. But it is meaningless in this class trial.
Meaningless?
You mean Monokuma's extra rule, right?
You see, I killed Tenko, but not Angie.
Diabolical.
For us, Tenko's death is nothing but a trivial issue. Because the blackened in this trial is the culprit who killed Angie.
Trivial issue? No, that's gotta be a lie. You probably killed Angie too.
That is simply not possible. Recall that I was unable to enter Angie's lab.
Oh, only student council members and Kokichi could enter research lab.
We don't know that he can't pick locks.
How could I have possibly killed Angie when I couldn't even enter her lab?
We can figure that out. No one else could have done it besides you. If you're the one who killed Tenko, you gotta be the one who killed Angie.
That's not
I
logical.
understand how you feel, Himiko, but maybe we can discuss this rationally and calmly. There is a non-zero possibility that Kyo is telling the truth.
So you understand how she feels. I see. Wait, robots can understand human feelings?
Shut up, Kokichi.
Of course I understand. I worked really hard to understand.
Hey, why are you getting all worked up, Kibo? Chill, dude.
That's enough! It's voting time! I'm gonna vote for him!
Voting for me will only help the one who murdered Angie.
Isn't Kyo culprit?
Of
Your
course.
face is the culprit.
This case was an error on my part. Monokuma added that rule after both bodies were found, yes? How was I to know that the trial would only be for Angie's killer? Had I known, I certainly wouldn't have killed Tenko.
You're lying! You killed Tenko and Angie!
Why?
Now hold on. Jumping to conclusions here is dangerous.
Mm-hmm. We should talk it out more. This case might have juicy plot twists waiting to happen.
Nuts to that! Any way you look at this case, Kyo is obviously the culprit.
Shut up, Mew.
Yeah, there's sort of no other way to look at it.
No, it's too dangerous to vote before we arrive at a logical decision.
The culprit's one of you! Wowee! This argument is getting intense! At times like this, the Ultimate Academy is proud to present its very own more phenomenal trial grounds!
Woohoo!
Yippee! I've been waiting for this!
Keep it in your pants, Kokichi.
Why were you waiting for it?
I feel like I've seen this sequence a half-dozen times. Is it pre-rendered or is it in-engine capped at 30 FPS? Who knows?
Kyo killed Tenko and Angie!
Kibo! We don't know for certain that Kyo killed Angie.
He forced his way into Angie's research lab and killed her!
I got this! But he couldn't get into Angie's research lab.
The katana was found in Kyo's lab.
Kyo! Anyone could have entered my lab.
So Kyo did kill Tenko, but he not blackened?
Kokichi! Perhaps there's a second blackened we need to find.
He was planning to use the new rule to protect himself all along.
Kyo! Not possible. That rule was added after both murders.
We solved the mystery of...
I got this! Not yet. There's still another mystery to solve.
I didn't realize there was a quick time event for that to deal with at the end there.
It would be a mistake to vote before we've completely solved Angie's murder. And there's still the mystery of Tenko's murder.
Yes, there is.
Mystery? What kind of mystery?
Well, Kyo's confession derailed our conversation a bit. But we still have to go over one of the clues found at Tenko's crime scene. I believe it might even have something to do with Angie's murder.
Wait, what happened here? We haven't talked about the bloody duct tape yet.
Damn it! Oh no!
What was the question? We haven't explained the before I enter the blood duct tape.
This is it!
Oh, I went to Tenko's crime scene?
The bloodstain found under the floor. Maki and I found it during the investigation. It was beneath the floorboard that the culprit stomped on.
Is that Tenko's blood?
That bloodstain was too far from Tenko's corpse to have been hers.
Also, the bloodstain was already dry when we found it. But the blood from Tenko's body hadn't even begun to dry yet.
Well, that's weird. Why was that bloodstain the only dry one?
I was wrong! That's it!
Those mean the same thing.
The bloodstain wasn't from Tenko's murder. It was there before we started the seance.
Before the seance?
That's it! That bloodstain wasn't Tenko's. It was Angie's.
Why was blood from Angie at the scene of Tenko's murder?
Because Angie killed
Yeah,
Tenko.
Wasn't Angie killed in her research lab?
Just because we found her body there doesn't mean she was killed there.
Ah, I guess that's possible.
If Angie wasn't killed in her lab, then that opens up a lot more possibilities. We assumed that only council members could have killed Angie since her body was in her lab. But if she died somewhere else, then we can't suspect just the council members anymore.
So the culprit didn't enter her lab, but waited for her to come out of it?
I'm not sure if the culprit waited for her, but they probably killed her when she came out. Well, I thought that was more likely from the start.
No, you didn't. Shut up.
So I went to places Angie might have gone and checked all 3 empty rooms.
Places she might have gone? Why did you check the empty rooms then?
The empty rooms were the only places I could think of that Angie would go.
Did Angie have business in rooms?
It seems Kokichi's up to his usual misleading nonsense again.
I do lie a lot, and I could be lying right now too. But I'm pretty sure someone's panicking right now because of my lie.
Wait.
The art research lab is not where Angie was killed. She was killed in the empty room instead!
She left her lab on her own?
But why would she go into an empty room? There shouldn't have been anything in there. Except for candles.
That's it! She wanted a candle! Keep herself awake at night. She would drip hot wax on her body.
She wanted candles. She burned the Necronomicon.
That sounds like something only you would do, Neil.
The art research lab is not where Angie was killed. She was killed in the empty room instead!
She left her lab on her own?
But why would she go into an empty room? There shouldn't have been anything except for candles.
I agree! That's it! Angie went to that room to get a candle.
Yeah, for kinky wax play.
It's never for kinky wax play.
No. Angie was gonna use it for the ritual. According to the Necronomicon, to resurrect the dead.
Then, did she seek out a candle so she could burn the book?
That's right. There's nothing to start a fire with in Angie's lab. So she went to go get a candle from one of the empty rooms.
And that's when the culprit attacked her.
That's why there was dried blood under floor.
Is it a coincidence that both midriff-bearing women were killed from the same case? Probably.
Which means Angie was attacked in the same room the seance was held. Bravo, Himiko. Well done for choosing that room for the seance. If we hadn't done the seance in that room, then Tenko's murder would have been in another room. If that happened, no one would have discovered Angie's bloodstain under the floorboards.
That's right. Shuichi and I only checked under the floorboards where Tenko died.
Yep, it's all thanks to Himiko for choosing the same room as Angie. This must be Atua's will. Or maybe the power of magic.
Maybe it was magic.
It's neither. I just picked one.
Hold on. You're all acting as though you've proven that as fact already. You claim Angie was murdered in the empty room, and then moved to the lab? Then how do you explain the large amount of blood in the lab?
She's just knocked out in the empty room and then killed in the lab.
It may be possible to carry a body, but blood cannot be moved.
I think she was still alive after the attack in the empty room.
Knocked out, then bloody duct tape on her head. Then the duct tape on her forehead to staunch the wound. Staunch the bleeding, you know what I mean.
She was killed after she was carried to her lab. This is it! The fatal wound was a cut to the back of her neck from the katana. But she also showed signs of blunt force trauma, and I think I know why. After Angie was knocked unconscious in the empty room, she was killed in her lab.
I see. So that puddle of blood is from the killing blow. Ha! It's all clear now. Angie was attacked in the empty room, carried to her lab, and it was there that the culprit finished her off.
All clear. This is all clear. What are you all talking about? All clear? What is all clear? What are you? All clear? What are you all? You what? What are? I will not fear. I will not back down.
Sweet Korekio, calm yourself. Their words are all hollow. There is no meaning to any of them. You must teach these ignorant children a lesson.
Yes, you're right. Okay, I'll teach them.
What the hell are you mumbling about? You're giving me the goddamn willies!
Not yet. Nothing is clear at all. It's full of doubts, of mysteries, of a dense, impenetrable fog! Nothing is clear at all!
Is the point that Korekio is Korekio is like crossdresser? What's going on here?
Angie was attacked in the empty room first, and then carried into the research lab? Impossible! Impossible! That's nothing but a delusion! You intend to poison our minds with your delusions?
It's no delusion. Angie's 2 external wounds tell the story. After she was struck in the empty room, she was carried to the art research lab and then killed.
You say the culprit carried Angie's body? And not a single drop of blood fell? The hallway and empty room had no blood stains.
Oh no!
You say the culprit carried Angie's body? And not a single drop of blood fell? The hallway and empty room had no blood stains.
Damn it!
You say the culprit carried Angie's body? And not a single drop of blood fell? The hallway and empty room had no blood stains. Even if you wipe them down later, there'd still be traces of evidence left behind. But there was no evidence anywhere, was there, Shuichi?
I'll cut through your words.
There was evidence left at the scene. The bloody tape under Angie's body.
What?
It was wrapped around her head to stop the bleeding while she was being carried.
Bloody tape? Gonta didn't notice at all.
It was under the body. It's most likely evidence the culprit should have gotten rid of. But since it was hidden, the culprit didn't notice and failed to dispose of it.
It must have fallen as the fatal blow was dealt, and ended up under her body.
It must have been Atua who did that for us.
What? Atua? How long are you going to keep that up?
Wait, why does he care if he didn't kill Angie? Maybe he did kill Angie. It'd be more interesting to have a killer walking among them, and then see them have to deal with it. If Korekio's the killer, then it's just kind of dumb.
Now we know most of the mystery behind Angie's murder.
I'm convinced there's only one person who could have killed Angie. It has to be you! It's you, Kyo. You killed Angie.
Why?
What the fuck? So it's true!
Well, that was obvious. Such a boring, obvious answer.
You killed both of them. Why did you kill them?
In terms of pure logic, only one victim was necessary to win.
Why? Why you killed them both?
I think one of the murders was an accident.
An accident?
Yeah.
That's right. It wasn't part of the plan.
Angie accidentally stumbled upon the setup for Tenko's murder, something stupid like that.
Huh? Which one?
That's it! Angie's murder was an accident.
What? Tenko wasn't accident?
That's right. Kyo originally planned to kill someone with the seesaw trick. But while he was making preparations in the empty room, Angie walked in. So he decided to kill her in order to keep her from talking.
She just happened to walk in on the culprit setting up and was killed.
Then, he should have just stopped there. When he killed Angie, there was no reason for him to kill Tenko.
You only needed to kill one for this game. Killing two is pointless. If you get bonus points for killing more, then sure. Otherwise, it leaves more clues behind.
Why, Kyo? Why you kill two of our friends?
What on earth are you talking about? No, I'm not the culprit. So, why is everyone looking at me like I am? Why? Why are they? Why is it?
Calm yourself, Korekio.
Yes.
You mustn't raise your voice. You mustn't stutter. You mustn't lose composure. You mustn't become flustered. You mustn't waver.
Look at their horrid faces. This sorry lot is not worth agonizing over. You're right. Yeah, you're right.
There he goes again. What the hell's wrong with him?
It almost seems like he's talking with someone. Someone? He's just talking to himself. And why the hell is he wearing lipstick?
No matter how loudly you protest, this is a trivial matter. I will never acknowledge your allegations. Not a single one of them. For you see, there is no evidence that I killed Angie. No, I will not acknowledge it. I will only acknowledge facts, true events. I won't acknowledge fiction, mystery. I won't acknowledge your deductions or guesses.
I mean, man, live your truth, but do you have to be so creepy?
Well said. Good job, Korekio.
He's like, I have my mother inside me. It's probably something weird like that.
Yes, thanks.
I don't really trust the Danganronpa series with transgender representation after the whole Chihiro debacle from the first one. By the way, spoilers for Danganronpa 1 if you haven't played it.
Creeps me the fuck out!
You're wrong. There is evidence.
What? You do realize bluffs like that won't work, yes?
The weapon that was used to knock Angie unconscious in the empty room. That weapon tells us the whole story, Kyo.
That's not possible. I think you may have misunderstood. Apologize. Come on, apologize.
Apologize. Apologize. Apologize.
Come on, apologize. Apologize, apologize. Apologize, 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 apologize.
Seriously, what the hell's happening?
Multiple personality disorder, something like that. I heard this game doesn't treat mental illness particularly sensitively. That's what one review said, but who knows? If I keep muttering about this, somebody's gonna comment on this video, LOL, so triggered, because apparently that's what we do now. Not that anybody's gonna...
I have nothing to admit. You are simply wrong.
Yes, I'm not the culprit.
So I have nothing to confess. I have nothing to admit. You are simply wrong.
Yes, I'm not the culprit.
So I have nothing to confess. I have nothing to admit. You are simply wrong.
Yes.
Why must you force your delusions on us?
Your love? That's merely a delusion.
Well said, Korekio. To continue this debate is meaningless. Why must you force your delusions on us? Your logic? That's merely a delusion. Well said, Korekio. To continue this debate is meaningless. Why must you force your delusions on us? I told you I am not the culprit. So why are you looking at me like that? You're all wrong, not me! Korekio speaks the truth. Such a sorry lot. Apologize. 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 I told you I am not the culprit. So why are you looking at me like that? You're all wrong, not me! Korekio speaks the truth. Such a sorry lot. Apologize. 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 I told you I am not the culprit. So why are you looking at me like that? You're all wrong, not me! Korekio speaks the truth. Such a sorry lot. Apologize. 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 I told you I am not the culprit. So why are you looking at me like that? You're all wrong, not me! Korekio speaks the truth. You have no proof that Korekio is the killer.
It ends here!
Except for we do.
Kyo hit Angie with the same floorboard used in the seesaw trick.
Okay, how do we know that?
I see. And how do you know the floorboard was the murder weapon?
There was a small patch of dry blood on the underside of the floorboard.
Angie's blood?
Blood that spattered there when the culprit struck Angie with the board. But that's not the only evidence that she was hit with that floorboard. There's also the bloodstain under the floor to consider. For that to be there,
Somebody had to
the
remove the
floorboard
floorboard.
must not have been in place at the time of the attack.
Okay, but how do you know this is Korekio who did it?
Good point. Had the floorboard been in place, her blood wouldn't have splattered beneath it.
Kyo's earlier confession is further evidence that the floorboard was used.
How?
If the weapon you used to hit Angie is the floorboard from the seesaw trick,
You had to know the floorboard was there. I could have just stepped on it by accident earlier when you were screwing around in the room.
It means the culprit knew about the seesaw, so the same person killed Tenko and Angie.
I hope his voice actor was well compensated for that scream, because that's throat-rending.
I believe that while Kyo was setting up the seesaw, he was holding the board when Angie walked in.
And he cold-cocked her with the floorboard!
all you can do now is accept it. You even confessed to Tenko's murder already.
It's true. This is the truth.
Again, nothing links Korekio specifically to this.
Looks like we're almost at the end.
If Kokichi was able to stumble upon the seesaw by accident, then it stands to reason that anybody could. So why is knowledge of the floorboard trick required here?
All right, Shuichi. I'll leave the finale to you. Bring down the house.
Shuichi, please, put an end to this. For Angie and Tenko's sake. End this class trial.
I understand. I'll go over everything one more time. Kyo, I want you to confess. No, I will force you to confess.
remember. I played this several days ago. Where's the Kaede effigy? There it is. That's all Himiko's fault.
This is the truth of the case!
That was the wrong question. Should have been like, what was the culprit doing?
Let's look back at the first murder. It was late last night. The culprit was in the empty room on the 4th floor. The culprit was preparing the seance murder they had planned. To use the floorboard as a seesaw, they had to cut the crosspiece supporting it. The plan was to make the same preparations for all 3 empty rooms. This would divert suspicion away from the culprit and whoever picked a room. To cut the crosspieces, they needed a saw. I imagine they got one from the warehouse. They were planning to cut the crosspieces in all 3 rooms. However, when the culprit was working on the middle room, the unexpected happened. Angie walked into that room and saw the culprit making their preparations. She needed some fire for the ritual and had gone to the room for a candle. At that point, the culprit had not finished the setup and was just cutting crosspieces. Angie might not have concluded that it was tied to some kind of murder plan. But now that Angie had seen it, the culprit couldn't use the seesaw trick. Any other person might have just given up, but not our culprit. The culprit took the floorboard they loosened and struck the unsuspecting Angie in the head. The culprit did not want to give up on their plan and had to improvise. They wrapped duct tape around Angie's injury to stop the bleeding.
Duct tape that they just happen to be carrying? Okay.
Then they picked up her unconscious body and carried her to a research lab. While she was unconscious, the culprit hurried to tie up this loose end. But because they were in a hurry, they made a crucial oversight. They didn't notice the duct tape had peeled off and was under Angie's body. Without that evidence, we may never have figured out the culprit's trick.
Pretty sure they could have used anything to stanch the bleeding and clean it up later.
Carrying the supplies they needed, the culprit returned to the ultimate art lab. Locked the front door from inside. And took out the katana they brought from their own lab.
A likely story.
They then stabbed Angie in the back of the neck, finally killing her. Then, to further confuse us, the culprit attempted to make a locked room mystery.
Right, but how would that throw the scent off him? Like, why would you do an elaborate plan like that if you wanted it to look like a suicide? Well, I guess it looked like a bizarre ritual suicide, maybe? I don't even know, man. I don't know at all.
First, they used rope from the warehouse and hung 4 effigies upside down.
By the way, that's a common thing to do in labs, in animal labs, when you have to kill mice. You usually knock them out with gas and then you cut them open, usually behead them.
There were 2 reasons for this.
How does a skirt magically not fall over? I guess her skirt's made of wax too.
To overwhelm the room with an occult atmosphere. And the other was the key to locking the room. The culprit stuck the katana into Kaede's effigy near the rear entrance. And spun the effigy around to twist up the rope. After enough turns, the culprit let go and headed for the rear door. Once released, the effigy began spinning, and the gold leaf katana with it. The handle of the katana then hit the sliding lock, locking the door. A difficult trick, but remember that the lock was so loose it moved at the slightest touch. The culprit also would have had the opportunity to attempt it many times. Once complete, the door was locked, but the duct tape was left behind. Perhaps the culprit noticed it, but by that point, it was too late. The room was sealed. There was no way for them to get back inside. Then, this morning, we opened up the room and discovered Angie's body.
Get there faster.
But the culprit wasn't finished. They wanted one more murder.
Why?
To do that, they manipulated us into performing this seance.
It's because the murder you set up was so beautiful that you couldn't imagine us not seeing it. There's a lot of coincidence in this case,
Of
too.
the 3 empty rooms, the middle one was chosen for the seance. I was invited by Kokichi to take Kibo's place in the seance. Tenko volunteered to be the medium, but she never imagined it would get her killed. To perform the seance, the culprit claimed they needed something for Tenko. A small stone that Himiko had brought from the courtyard. Tenko, at the culprit's request, bowed her head until it was touching the stone. That position was instrumental in making sure the murder went as planned. Next, Kokichi and I placed the iron cage over Tenko in the middle of the magic circle. The culprit then volunteered to drape the white cloth over the iron cage. We didn't realize it at the time, but that was a deliberate decision by the culprit. They needed to set up the murder weapon that was used to kill Tenko. While they were covering the cage with a cloth, they secretly placed the sickle. Finally, 4 of us placed the wooden statue on top of the cage. The culprit used the weight of the statue to keep the murder weapon in place. After the preparations were complete, we began the seance. In complete darkness, we each stood in one corner and sang the Caged Child song. When the song finished, the soul of the dead was supposed to enter the medium. But our culprit had another plan, to commit a murder in the darkness. Right after we started singing, the culprit began making their way toward Tenko. It would have been quite difficult to do in total darkness, but our culprit had a guide. They used the lines of the magic circle drawn with salt. The culprit felt for the salt and used it to guide them along. And when the culprit reached the center of the circle, they found the floorboard that had its crosspiece cut off the night before. Then lifted up their foot and stomped down hard on the floorboard. The floorboard lifted up like a seesaw and pushed Tenko's body up toward the ceiling of the cage. Tenko was stabbed in the back of the neck by the sickle on the top of the cage. She was killed right before our eyes, and we didn't even see it. After committing the crime, the culprit followed the salt back to their corner. Finished the ritual and had us light the candles. We followed the culprit's directions and removed the equipment used for the seance. And discovered Tenko's body. While we were all focused on the body, the culprit picked up the sickle and dropped it under the floor through the hole in the corner of the room. Ironically, the final step of the murder was unwittingly carried out by us. The culprit had planned the murder so that we would unintentionally destroy some evidence.
So Kiba saved the day.
That evidence was the magic circle that the culprit used to navigate in the dark.
I should play that game. There's a game called The Magic Circle. Apparently it's good.
However, the culprit didn't know that Kibo had taken a picture. He really saved us. Without that, we wouldn't know what changes were made to the circle. But now we know for certain, and we know the culprit drew the magic circle.
Now they've introduced the fact that Kibo has photographic memory, like literal photographic memory. They're gonna do something with that, right? Or eliminate bad possibilities.
Korekio Shinguchi, the ultimate anthropologist. You're the culprit behind these murders.
Phoenix, right.
That's where my detective work leads us. It all fits.
Sweet Korekio. There are times when it's necessary to admit defeat. Admit? Yeah. Okay.
So you finally admit you did it.
Unfortunately. Yes. Yes. It's unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. My one regret, my only regret, was not being able to make 100 friends.
What?
100 friends?
It was my dream to make 100 friends. Oh, it's so unfortunate! I was so close to 100!
What are you talking about? I do not understand a word of this.
Who gives a fuck? Let's vote for this kooky bastard and be done with this already!
Roger that! One voting time coming up!
The heart racing excitement as...
The heart racing excitement!
As the blackened and the spotless finally face off!
It's voting time!
I guess I kind of have to vote for Korekio.
Now then, it seems the voting has finished. Let's see the result. Who'll be chosen as the blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one?
Closing was only a B? Was it because I took too long? I didn't get anything wrong during it. Oh well.
Wah! Absolutely right! All right!
For now.
No.
Right!
Oh?
Hey! Hey, hey!
Shut up!
What?
Eh?
Yes. There is someone that I love. I love her with all my heart, and she loves me with all her heart.
What?
Yes, we vowed an endless love to each other, forever bound by fate. None can come between us. We are bound by an intense love.
Okay, then why didn't he kill earlier?
Anyone says.
Why did he not kill earlier?
What?
Don't tell me.
Wonderful.
Wait!
Yeah.
Kersploosh!
Hey!
Hey,
You see,
Sister.
Wait!
Right?
Wait,
whatever is the matter?
Okay.
I loved her so deeply. And she loved me so deeply.
Okay, that asterisk is kinda necessary.
The fact that we were siblings meant nothing to us. They called it forbidden love. But none could stop the love we shared.
Alright, incest. Yay.
Oh, how I longed for my sister's warmth. The only time I felt at peace was when I was enveloped in my sister's warmth.
Alright, so you boned too. Great.
For my beloved sister.
Always messing around.
No.
Huh? Sister.
However,
Huh?
do you understand?
For my beloved sister.
Incomprehensible.
Okay, why did he kill earlier?
Sister. Yes.
what?
I am Korekio's older sister.
What?
Yes. I am pleased. Sister. Korekio.
Are you serious?
I told you.
Ew.
Well, now.
What was that?
Because
Unacceptable. Huh? I...
Wonderful.
Oh man, that's great.
Yeah?
Why
Maki
you?
and Mew.
Then...
Excellent. Wonderful.
Huh?
But... can this be? Beautiful.
well,
No way!
let's see.
For my beloved sister!
Are you okay?
However,
What is that?
Wait, I missed that.
Correcchio.
oh dear.
Why? But how?
I like this motive better than I'm secretly the Prime Minister, derp derp derp. Because, I repeat, anybody can be friggin' Prime Minister. Especially in the era of... I was gonna get political and start making fun of Donald Trump, but you know what, let's not do that, because everybody on YouTube is probably some alt-right shit poster. You get Pepe memes all up in this shit. Oh well. Whoopsie doodles. No, I wanted the backlog. Backlog!
Do not worry.
That's right. Sister.
What was that?
Well, nyeh. And another thing.
Maybe.
Shut up!
I feel insulted. I feel personally insulted.
So then,
Sister.
sister,
Correcchio.
Oh. It's punishment time!
Huh? Sister. That's right.
What?
therefore, from an anthropological point of view, yes.
What was that?
Now then, I've prepared a very special punishment.
I shall observe.
That's right. Humanity is beautiful.
It's punishment time!
Which Monokub's gonna get killed this time? Probably gonna be Monofanny. And keep Monotaro because he's similar to Monokuma. So I have to get rid of Monokuma. At least have Monotaro for another game. This Monodom just burned himself. That was weird.
How gory!
How can this be? Yay!
That's right!
Hey,
Eh?
well now. Wow, wow, wow,
You?
I told you. What's the point?
Eh?
Oh yeah. So long. Farewell.
Always messing around. Of course!
But...
You're right.
Okay, so they're just cutting the Atua arc or whatever off right now.
Going to do his best.
You're right.
Okay. That's right. Got a minute?
Oh.
Actually...
But... Well, you know... Shit!
How rude!
But you know... I believe in you.
Okay.
Well, of course.
Hey, hey! How exciting!
No way!
You all right?
Hey! Okay.
Oh.
You're so dumb.
Huh?
Because I'm a liar.
That's weird grammar.
But...
Right?
Excuse me.
Because... Hey!
Damn it.
Love? Ain't nobody boning nobody else here, come on. Tears filled with emotion. Come on, man. Everybody stop crying, alright?
Is she hard to carry, Gonta?
No, she fine.
She's sleeping very peacefully.
She's all tuckered out after crying. Robots sleep well after leaking their oils too, right?
I have told you many times that I do not use oil as my fuel source.
But wow, that really surprised me. She passed out as soon as she stopped crying.
Yeah, but she looks so peaceful sleeping like that.
Aw, adorable.
She probably felt better after letting it all out, don't you think?
Yeah, I hope so.
Then Gonta carry Himiko to her room.
Make sure you focus real good on your back, you hear me? You'll need that focus if you want to feel her little mosquito bites poking ya! There's no way he'd do such a thing. Gonta is a gentleman after all.
Huh?
Well...
But...
Got it.
Okay. Okay.
Got it.
Kaito's been poisoned.
Damn it. I don't have time to be dying. I still haven't gone into space yet. Damn it. No way am I gonna die here. No way.
Alright, let's save our game and move on to something else in life. Thank you for watching and goodbye.